Hello and welcome to yet another live coding and seal. I'm your host, Johnny, and I hope you're having a lovely Friday, having a great day, and it's gonna get even better now. We've got a packed agenda for today. We'll keep on working on our Emoji of the Day app, and after we've added ChatGPT 4, thanks maybe to your support, I actually got access to use ChatGPT 4, and we've upgraded from using ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo to 4 for this week. Now we'll be adding AI art, generative AI art with dall-e 2, yet another OpenAI endpoint. OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and dall-e, you may have seen this making the news in the past few months. The results are amazing. I do think ChatGPT is the one that is really making waves now, and it's very impressive the type of work they've accomplished over there at OpenAI in regards to having like a chat assistant, a chat guru in many subjects. But of course, the AI art is a really hot topic as well. I think there are even more companies, even more startups that are running dall-e behind the scenes to create like your personalized, customized avatars. There's some moral gray ground on what may be happening there. Is this AI something you can take and use on your projects? Is it actually mashing together work from other artists that should be credited for this? That's a story for another time. The story of the day is that you can play with those tools and get into the hottest of hot new techs. Bill Gates says this will change the world, and Bill Gates is often right. There's an already infamous blog post by Bill Gates that's been making the rounds, and he claims that there are two things that has really surprised him and excited him in his very long career and life in tech. And one of them is what's happening now with ChatGPT. Worth a read, go check it out. But also, tell me how you're doing. I hope you're having a great day and that you'll enjoy this week. And just to recap what we've been doing before, we've got this live app that you can actually go, emoji-off.com, which picks a random emoji every week's day. And since last week, I've added the ability to see the previous picks from previous days. Although we've done the bulk of the work together, and we'll be doing even more work on this app today again. So today, the emoji of the day was the taxi, and Scrooge McDuck was chosen as the fictional character to make a quote about it. And he had something interesting to say as well about penny pinching. I don't think he'd ever get a taxi, but he does mention that because he's thrifty, he wouldn't, but maybe he would. Anyway, that's by the by. Check out the app, check out the code, open source and free on my GitHub as well. In the exactly previous stream, we've added this section where you can ask for advice about content creation regarding the emoji of the day. So if someone tells me something in the chat about what they want to see, I'll be happy to press. Maybe I'll just do like Spider-Man TikTok is my go-to for modern day stuff, and you can actually go and click around yourself if you want something else, if you want to see something else. What I'm thinking for today is that besides the response from Spider-Man or whoever you choose, we should get like some concept art or some photo regarding that. So maybe also ask dall-e to say, all right, Spider-Man has this idea for a photo. Can you make some concept art, or can you make the photo? Jennifer has this idea about a video game. I don't know how Jennifer would have that one, but maybe we can ask dall-e about that as well. So we'll see what kind of results we get. And in the big agenda we have for today, we'll see if we make it to actually making background meta images for sharing and having the emoji pics looking nice, or something else. We'll go through it when the time comes. This is taking a surprisingly long time, but it stopped now, so maybe I ask again. will actually work. Who knows? ChatGPT 4 even slower than ChatGPT 3, but better in every other regard. Let's see this app running locally. In the meantime, my local pick is another flag. There are many flags when it comes to emojis, and we got Tuvalu today. And the random code, the random picking code asked Garus for a comment on Tuvalu. He had, not the most exciting reply, but I like the final comment of you can always rely on your teammates no matter where they're from. And I've also asked Scrooge again about this, and he seems to have known Tuvalu. Of course, Scrooge, famous for making his fortune by traveling all around the world until he made it big in the Yukon River, and traveling with his nephews to find untold riches from previous lives. Right, so Spider-Man's back, and he does have something to say about taxi, and maybe we can feed this prompt to dall-e and see what type of image we get back. Not so sure. It does take a while to get this advice as well. So if we ask Spider-Man again, then we fetch this from our Supabase database, so it's kind of cast locally. We don't hit the OpenAI endpoint and it immediately resolves, so the user doesn't have to wait. But maybe that's when we could be asking for concept art. Maybe we can have like a little type-in indicator here, and then say, oh, I've worked on this thing. But we'll see. We will see. So let's switch to the desktop view. Let's go over the agenda. We've talked about what we're gonna do today. We've talked about dall-e 2. You can see some more famous use cases, case studies about this as well. And it's time to get to coding. So my initial idea is to have the emoji of the day pick also create some AI art regarding the emoji of the day, but maybe it would be cooler to make it part of the advice flow. So you ask somebody for advice, and then you ask for an image, and it also forces people to navigate through the app, but maybe that's not what I want, so I'm not sure. Well, the thing about that, I do have the API reference here. The endpoint we want to hit is very similar to the chat completion endpoint. Chat endpoint only it ends at /images/generations, and the payload has a prompt, and we'll just be picking the default of one image and probably the default size, but we'll see. And we should be getting an image back, which will probably not store in our own solution, but we'll be talking about that more. Just thinking, what do we want the prompt to be? What do we want to do? Let's do it about the emoji of the day. Let's do it about the emoji of the day, which means that we want to go into our main page route. And maybe after the quotes, before the form, we can say concept art, something like that. Featured art, and then we'll have an image here. And have you been using, let me know, any other service about the placeholder images? Nope. I remember that this domain placeholder, bro, not placeholder. This band. Ah, here we go. It's now placeholder.com. It's not. This is an older article. I see. That service was too good to be true. Oh, it still works. Okay. So let's see what we're gonna get in by default. 1024. Square, almost Instagram crop. And image source is going to be this. And what else do we want? We want to caption this. We'll have a better caption later. Maybe just create a variable here. Let's say const image art. Source is gonna be the placeholder thingy. This. And title is gonna be this, and then we can use both of those things here. Art source, art title. Here we go. Is it too big for our tastes? Let's see, what else can we do? Let's ask for this. 512, half the size. Too small? I guess it will be dynamic as well. Let's ask for the biggest possible, it's fine. Make it slightly nicer. Drop shadow. And around borders. And let's get to it. So, we've got the UI. And we can ask from our page server.ts, like, interestingly, in this file, in the server, we only get things from the database, because every time we pick an emoji, that's when we ask the characters for a quote. And then we also have the form, which takes a while to load but gets there eventually. So we don't actually have the OpenAI client working here, but we will, and we'll refactor to put it somewhere else soon enough, I'm sure. So we've got this lib server OpenAI client here, and we have a create chat completion, and I guess we'll take inspiration from that. Duplicate it and call this new method generate image. It is going to be another post request, but the URL is going to be this. So not via v1 chat completions, it's going to be v1 images generations, sure. And it will take it authenticates the same way with a bearer token, and this can't hurt. And I guess for the body, since everything else for us the default works, we'll just have the prompt here. And the prompt, that's going to be a string we can pass to this method. So after we have a response back, we can send it and check whether it's okay. Then we get that JSON back, and we can create another type card because the response is supposed to be like this. So we have the OpenAI chat completion, and I guess we can call this like OpenAI image generation. Generations, who knows. So this is going to be a number, it looks like, and then an array of data. It looks like the actual data has the URL with string, correct? Yeah, and it's an array of those. Good. So in order to have a bit more type safety, we can take inspiration from our isChatCompletion type card and say that you get some JSON, who knows what it is, and then if this method we're gonna write is truthy, then this is gonna be this image generation response. So if the JSON is actually a JSON object, and then let's pretend this is AI image generation, we can say if it has like a URL, if it has a data 0 URL, if it has at least one data thingy, we should be good to go. Data is an object that has URL. So we get that image generation thingy, and if it is indeed what we want, we can get into the first of the data and get its URL. Alvaro, it's going well. I think we'll be getting some AI art soon. So do we want, this is this returns the URL back. So maybe it just returns a string, I guess. And let's try to use it in our page server TS, our root, and see what we get back. See how long it takes and all of that, if it's feasible to wait for it every time. So what is the prompt gonna be is a question that I have. And then let's say that art is gonna be something that has, let's comment this out for a moment, but it is gonna have like a source. Oh, the Unsplash API, I think. GitHub Copilot gives me something better to work with. Maybe. And the title, let's maybe the title is going to be the prompt. That's what I'm thinking about really here. So what type of prompt would we want? Some single quotes somewhere here. Sure. I guess the answer is no. On this file I must have quotes. Did Prettier format all my codes away? I think it's likely. Oh no. But why? Alright, can fix this offline. It's fine. Let's just do regular codes here. And let's use this art from the UI in the UI. So this is going to be data art now. And wow, that GitHub Copilot, it was actually a legit comment. Maybe that's more fun to have. So every time we get a different Unsplash image that actually looks awesome. It's great. Let me bring this a bit higher up so you can see it better. So yeah, Unsplash, still quite cool. Too savvy. We do have a push, a layout shift when the image loads. But we'll amend this, I'm sure, soon enough. The point isn't to use the Unsplash API though. The point is to generate an AI image, using AI. So let's say that the prompt is gonna be this. Pass it around, now we can use the generated image URL here as the source, and we can refresh and see what we get back. Alright, believe it or not, both of those are concept art about video games that we asked dall-e to create for us. It's pretty cool. And it was faster than I was afraid it would be. Is it looking any good? Who knows? Maybe for the emoji of the day, which is taxi, it would make something slightly cooler. But I think this is it. It doesn't have the little dall-e bottom right things. I guess they did move them. But it looks correct. It is from dall-e, indeed. Can see that the image we get back is this. I like the other image better, but still not too bad. And yet another concept art here. Not too shabby. I don't know what that has to do about Tuvalu specifically, but with a different emoji pick, maybe it would have been a bit more exciting. We can sit and delete today's emoji pick and then pick yet another one, but we won't do that. I think we're getting the point. So I will recap and take a sip of coffee and see where we're at. In the previous streams, we were using the chat completion endpoint of OpenAI. In this stream, we quite quickly used the image generation endpoint from OpenAI again. We authenticate the same way with an OpenAI API key as an authorization header, sort of bearer token, and all we give it is a prompt, and then we get a URL back with like a huge URL there. That I guess we can like pick and download and host into our own thing. Maybe we'll do that as the stream continues afterwards. But placeholder image added, we're hitting that endpoint, and we'll do some fine tuning after a sip. I may want to check out a prompt here as well. Detailed description. Concept art. Like Spider-Man. But a video game. See what we get back here. Whoops. So let's change our prompt. Let's pretend that the emoji of the day is a taxi here locally as well. So here on the server, let's add the by Spider-Man, who could be taxi emoji here. Will we get back something different? So interestingly, it seems that Spider-Man is also in this concept art. Something like Spider-Man, because he loves featuring himself. Which is fair enough. And another one we got is quite abstract. I wouldn't say that this is concept art. I think this is more like abstract art. What else could we do here? Sketch. Quite similar, I would say. Oh, this is quite different. This is quite cool. So you see Spider-Man, you see the taxi. Not bad. What about photo? We asked dall-e for a photo. What do we get back? Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, given how fast this seems to be, I do think I will not do it on the main page at all. And of course, this section goes. And then in our advice section, let me set up my Doodle timer here. It's here where they'll also send us a little concept art which they've supposedly made. So for advice, yes, for advice. And then on the server, I suppose. And here we can say sketch by this person from this franchise for a oh, there's my quotes. So sketch by whoever you select from whoever you select for whatever you select, the theme of the emoji of the day. We get that 203 minutes back. Get some art. Now our UI. And surround this, or maybe not. Maybe we can, I'm not sure. I'm thinking whether we should surround this with an if block. And say if form art, then in here can add this image. Don't know what any of that means. That's the image. Instead of data art, it's going to be form art. Alright, so let's ask the Joker for a video game for a TikTok about this flag. May take a while. It is two potentially long API calls. ChatGPT 4 seems to be the longer one, but we can do them in parallel if this seems to kind of work. Well, 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 the flag of Tuvalu. Well, well, well. Of course, Kizukit. Well, it's something. Life's always a bitch when the Joker's around. What? Right, that was a bit too long, but I believe it was worth it. Let's another thinking. You have this, they send you this text message. You could do like some fun stuff to make this be on a timeout and take a little more time to do. The user in games. Is this the same hand? Maybe? No, I think it kind of works. No, it's probably the same hand. Anyway, let's not think about this too much. Whoa. And let's make those two API calls parallel. While we're doing the chat completion, let's put this article. Put it inside our promise all array. We are second. Damus. Get it. So here's where it should be. And this should work the same. Let's see how Garus would take a photo about this flag that Garus wouldn't really know about. Maybe separate problem. Looks great. And I think that's about it, about integrating with dall-e. Reinforcing our learnings from previous streams, I suppose. Nothing too unexpected happened. It was actually much faster than I thought it would be, the response times included. And I think that's a decent place to do this. For things to optimize, I would guess that having this placeholder image happen, and it would be fun to have like the loading indicator, and then after one moment they send this message and you're like, what? Then they send this. Or maybe you have like a 10% chance to get a response that also has a sketch tied to it. But I think this is going to be it for this part. Next, we're going to save it to our Supabase and maybe call it a day. So even though it's fast, it would be even faster if we had already a result stored. We have this advice table, which always gets populated every time we ask character about an emoji. And we have the content text. You can see that this is a response by Carousel here. We could also have an art URL, I guess. Art prompt and art URL. You could have a different table like an art table as well, but maybe that's too much. We could also have like a JSON column here, but why not? Let's try it out. JSON. So it should be fine for this to be nullable. Default value is null. If we So after all of this, we should be storing this to the database. This insert should have like the art inserted. Source title should be fine. And similarly, we should be asking for the art back. So it's going to be the advice result. Get the content and the art. That should just work. So if we ask Garus again about a photo, we should get immediately what we got before, but we didn't save this, so we'll never get his lovely sketch ever again. But if we ask Scrooge for film sketch, let's see what we get back. We should get back a nice little sketch for us, and then instead of waiting for such a long time for the ChatGPT part of this to resolve, we should have this duck maze. What is that? DuckTales. Boo. So hopefully, when another user goes here to ask Scrooge McDuck about a film, we get this back immediately. Because we have stored it in our database, so they should be here. Something else could be that we can request this as a base64 encoded image, and then we can upload it to Supabase storage, and then I guess we can choose to serve stuff that are in our Supabase S3 bucket from our domain, and that would be a better connection. And instead of having like this super big URL. with all these query parameters. corewindows.net, which maybe we'll do next, just to get going. So we are storing this. Would we do the file uploads today? We'll see. It's been a quick stream so far. Not everyone needs to take a while. I have been working on more videos, more video content that we know and love from me. And I have the script ready, and by the time next Friday comes around, I will have hopefully sorted and be in the process of editing. If you know me, you know that I take ages editing the videos, so it's unlikely it will be out by next Friday or even next Friday, but it should be out soon. It is gonna be most likely about the ChatGPT with SvelteKit, generative AI on the edge. Been working on this for quite a while. There's been quite a few learnings, and I think we can make a cool video about it. Unfortunately, it is going to be a long video. That's why it's going to take me a long time to edit, but I think it's going to be worth it. And I think it's much more value for money, like value for time for you, the audience, than what's in my streams. My streams are better digested while you have your own projects maybe on the background, like half working with me, half paying attention. But for today, should we try to put this in a Supabase bucket or not? My other option is to start having nice shareable meta preview images, social preview images using Satori, but I'm not sure if that's where I want to go with this. I was thinking that we'd get an even nicer image from dall-e, and then we can give this image back to us. That would have been super exciting, but I don't think it's kind of silly. I don't think it's good enough to use like this. So maybe we will try to use this for SvelteKit real quick and then call it a day. I think what we got here is good. I think we can commit this. So if we change our mind, we can get out. Can hear my puppy has clearly woken up and wants attention. So we may actually call it a day here now, because it's just too lovely to ignore. Maybe Satori next week, maybe Satori on Tuesday, maybe Next.js on Tuesday, I don't know. We'll see. The video does take priority. So what did we do here? Oh, interesting. Does it not know that this is... of course, because that's if you have a JSON column, like it's no man's land, can be anything, I suppose. No guarantees there. So maybe I should make separate columns for art title and art URL. Yeah, this is convenient, but not quite what we want. Okay, going crazy. So I think I may need to call it a day now. And I'll catch you all next Friday, maybe sooner. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. See you around.